FMBN is a federal government-owned mortgage institution that provides affordable mortgage financing to Nigerians. They provide affordable loans, low interest rates, and long repayment periods. The eligibility to access FMBN products and services includes being a Nigerian worker with a steady income, contributing to the National Housing Fund, which is the NHF, and meeting other requirements. Now, who is eligible for the FMBN products and services? If you are a Nigerian with a steady income and also a contributor to the NHF, which is the National Housing Fund, then you qualify. Welcome to the FMBN podcast powered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria here on 7 FM TV. FMBN podcast comes to you every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Our goal is you. You know what that means? To keep you well informed on how you can own your own home by taking advantage of the numerous products and services made for you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So come with us today as we take you through the world of affordable housing with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN. Let's quickly go on a commercial break, and when we come back, the housing facts. Welcome back to FMBN podcast here on 7 FM TV, as this program is powered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Now, the frequently asked questions by Nigerians. Nigerians want to know, can a federal worker access his or her statement of accounts from FMBN state office? Here's the response.
Yes. Staff in our branch offices have access to an application to produce statement of accounts for federal workers.
Okay, Act 3, 1992 created the National Housing Scheme. However, it has been a deliberate and consistent move by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to ensure that there is an affordable housing which is made accessible for all Nigerians. You know what? Just take a look at this.
There has always been the need to create affordable housing for all Nigerians, especially the Nigerian workers. This is the core objective and mandate of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN. But the question is, how many Nigerians know what opportunity lies for them at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria? Taking a dive into the National Housing Fund loan, NHF, the group head, Mr. Benga Babade, shares what it is and what opportunity lies for all Nigerians.
Every Nigerian worker is supposed to contribute 2.5% of his basic income to a pool of fund, which we call the National Housing Fund. So that 2.5% of your basic salary, you will contribute to that NHF. We will now use it now to provide affordable houses for Nigerians. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what the National Housing Fund is all about. And the Federal Mortgage Bank manages this fund. We manage and disburse this fund. Okay. So it's responsibility of the Federal Mortgage Bank Once we collect the National Housing Fund, we manage it and we disburse it appropriately to for the provision of houses for Nigeria.
For those who are not within the formal sector, are they also eligible for the loan? Mr. Babade sheds more light.
In FMBN, that's Federal Mortgage Bank, they are classified as, we classify them as formal and informal. Formal is maybe you work for government, you work for banks, you work for, a formal setting that you have an employer and you have many employees, so that's the formal setting. So in that case, if it's a formal setting, if you want to register to the National Housing Fund, you will come to the bank, although now we are trying to automate our process, which we are going to bring the registration to your doorstep, to your phone, to your computer.
To build more on NHF and sustaining the mandate of making the loan more accessible to giving Nigerians an affordable shelter, the bank introduced the Rent-to-Own loan, a product under the Special Product Group (SPG). What is Rent-to-Own? Why and how does it work? The group head SPG, Mr. Lawal Isa Kofa Salary, sheds light.
The rent-on came up as a result of some of the research we have made, some of the findings we have done that a lot of Nigerians could not afford equity contribution when they want to apply for NHF loan.
When you talk about equity contribution, what do you mean?
If, for instance, you have a house that you want the bank to fund to create a mortgage for you, initially, all loans, you have to pay 10%. Then for a loan that is 5 million naira and below. Then from above 5 million naira, you pay up to 10 million naira, you pay 20%. And then above 10 million naira to 15 million naira, you pay 30%. Later, the bank said, okay, let's shelve some of those percentages. For all loans that are 5 million naira and below, you don't have to pay equity contribution. But any loan that is above 5 million naira, you pay 10% equity contribution. Still, we discovered that there are Nigerians that could not afford that equity contribution because, for instance, now if you are applying for a 10 million naira loan, you need to pay 10% of that. 10% of that is 1 million naira. So how many working Nigerians would afford to have a savings of 1 million naira? So we discovered that that too is a hindrance to some of the applicants. So that's why we came up with the rent-on. The rent-on is a product whereby it allows the applicant to move into his house, any of the funded houses, so that without paying anything.
This product gives you a direct access to the bank without a third-party interference.
It also eliminates a third party. On NHF loan, you have to go through a primary mortgage bank. But in this case, you are dealing directly with the bank. So you apply for rent-on directly through the bank, and once it's approved, a key is given to you and you move into your house.
The need also to mitigate the delays and problem of primary mortgage banks, PMBs, the product was created
all over the nation. And because of the problems we are encountering with the primary mortgage banks, because some of them have exceeded their one obligo limit. So that's why we say, okay, we don't have so many primary mortgage banks that could process applications. So let's isolate all our funded estates. Let's use them for the rent-on.
Even after introducing the rent-to-own, which is having a great impact to Nigerians, the quest and desire was still high for the bank to affect more Nigerians in getting loans for a comfortable shelter. The home renovation loan was also introduced.
Home renovation loan is an initiative that came to limelight when the bank decided to have a wider coverage of the product NHF. You all know that the bank was packaging for NHF over a period of time, but the coverage was not very wide because the NHF was to take up to 15 million, and not many Nigerian workers had such affordability. And so the home renovation loan came into place so that it can have a wider coverage, because the maximum you take for this loan is only 1 million. And so by the time you divide that 15 million for NHF, it will cover 15 people. And this was the reason that brought home renovation into limelight.
Now, are there beneficiaries of what the bank is doing? Absolutely yes. Thousands of Nigerians have benefited. Some of them shares their experience.
A young man like me having a house, and in the next few years you will think of another house again. It's really the credit of this one. And I think it's something that young people should think, and if they have the right kind of information, they'll be able to do better.
Victim of land grabber. I mean, I've got it to the extent of starting a foundation. Later I was told this land is not mine. So this opportunity I was giving me, I own my own house without any person telling me about the land issue and everything, all sort out. I want to thank you guys for this opportunity.
Then I've seen over a period of time how Federal Mortgage Bank has really helped us to achieve the dream of owning a home for our customers, especially through NHF, and they also give us some other platform to access this mortgage. Recently, we were able to discuss with our customers that they can also access this mortgage through rent-to-own. So I really want to thank Federal Mortgage Bank for the opportunity.
They have been a real help to our developer per se. They have really assisted them. And for your smart projects that you are operating, because I used to remember before, people that subscribe, it stay longer years before they even get one paper out. But now it's a lot smarter.
I'm representing the Ministry of Power and Steel Cooperative. I'm the chairman of the land committee and also an off-taker. So it takes us a lot to convince members to key into this wonderful project. When you hear rent to own, and the people, it was like a magic. Until NAPE delivered that first 32 set of the house, nobody believed. They were like, rent to own in Nigeria, it can't happen. Because we've heard of federal government projects in housing, the one they call, is it meat or fish? How it went.
Shelter for every Nigerian is the mission and mandate. You too can be a beneficiary of this good work at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN.
That was very detailed. Thank you very much, 7FM TV correspondent Austin Sinam. Let's go on a short break, and when we come back, FMBN News this week.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced star 219 hash. Star 219 hash is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial star 219 hash. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like star 219 star 3 hash to retrieve your NHF number, star 219 star 4 star 1 hash to check your last 5 transactions, and star 219 star 4 star 2 hash to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. Star 219 hash. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
All right, welcome back to FMBN Podcast here on 7FM TV, as FMBN Podcast is proudly powered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Now let's bring you FMBN News this week. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition. Do well to join us next week for another informing edition of FMBN podcast here on 7FM TV. And of course, do well to follow us on all our social media handles displayed on your screen at Instagram 7TV_NIG, Twitter 7TV_NIG, Facebook 7TV Nigeria, YouTube 7FM-TV. You can also visit our website at www.7media.ng. Do well to visit www.fmbn.gov.ng for more inquiries. Till I come your way next week, my name is Patience Okai. Stay blessed. Bye.